Hey, good buddies. It's your good buddy, Brandon. Before we get into the show, we just wanted to get a little somber, I guess. But if you haven't seen the news, well, I'm about to tell you about it, and you probably have. But the 18th, so yesterday when we were recording this, early morning in Japan, a arsonist attacked Kyoto Animation Studios, KyoAni, and it's pretty sickening, man. There's a lot of bad stuff. Basically, a lot of people have lost their lives. It's devastating. It's absolutely terrible. And this is, of course, an animation studio that, gave us a bunch of great hits and beautiful artwork. But moreover, it's just really devastating the amount of lives lost here. And if you are so inclined and have the wherewithal, Sentai Filmworks here out of Houston has set up a GoFundMe. If you want to help support KyoAni, it's gofundme.com/f/help-KyoAni-heal. I'll tell you, I've already donated and I'm sharing it. You might have seen it on the Twitter and the, Good Buddies Universe Facebook. But if you're so inclined and you have the ability, please help them out. It really mean a lot to, if no one else, to me, certainly, but to them, I'm sure. And if you don't have the ability to help out, share it, tell your friends. If you believe in prayer, pray. If you believe in good vibes and, the power of positivity, then send all that way, because there's a lot of people hurting right now. Thanks for listening, and let's get to the show.
Hey, good buddies, what's up? And welcome into the Good Buddies Anime Review. I am your good buddy Roger,
And I am your good buddy Brandon.
and I got an upper respiratory thing going on.
You got the goo?
It's the goo. I
He's
got the goo, my dude.
Aw, shoot your goo, my dude.
Hey,
it's gonna
but
be okay, man. We're gonna get through it.
You know what? It was not enough goo to stop me from wanting to review this anime.
This incredible show that we're gonna talk
God, I
about.
freaking loved it.
It's called DORORO.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
It is, I think, the second 24 episode anime we've done, at least in this format. Yeah.
What was first? Quick.
Slime.
Slime.
Yep.
Slime.
And if we did another one,
we just call it slime.
if we did another one, I don't remember what it was, but we have reviewed quite a bit of anime right now.
Oh, yeah,
we're
we
on
have.
our 65th episode.
Hot diggity dang.
Yeah.
We're getting there, y'all. But let's talk about this here anime. We're going to break it on down. We're going to talk about it a little bit. And we're going to give y'all... Break it down. We're going to give you a final review, a recommendation, whether we think you should check it out or not. The way we're going to get there, once we do get there, we're going to give it a final score and a review being one of the following things. Roger, if it was boo-boo stank garbage, what would you call that?
An anime, maybe not.
What if it was pretty bad, but like not the worst?
Anime.
It was average. It was fine. Nothing wrong with that.
It's an anime, maybe.
It was actually pretty good, though. Above average.
It's an anime, most definitely.
But if it was incredible, Roger, if it was so good.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yes, it would be. The way we're going to get there is we're going to give it a possible 10 stars, 5 categories, 2 stars each for a total of 10 stars. That's how math works. And what is that first category, Roger?
It is the story and setting,
Second category, Roger.
the characters and development,
Número 3.
the art and animation,
Cuatro.
the soundtrack.
And finally, that fifth category, that Good Buddies Wiggle Room, that je ne sais quoi. What does that mean, Roger?
I do not know what.
I don't know what. But that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to get there. Let's get on into it right now because we have dallied enough. You want a quick pitch, bro? I got a quick pitch for you.
You got a quick pitch?
I got a
I'm
quick
gonna
pitch.
just designate quick pitch to you.
All right.
From now on forever. Because
All
you
right,
always
man.
got it, buddy.
Well, here's your quick pitch, bro. This story takes place during the Sengoku, the Warring States period in Japan. And in that Warring States period, a feudal lord has made a pact with several demons to keep his land prosperous and protected. In exchange, they devour his newly born son. This skull baby, its remains are thrown out, and the child is then found, however, and survives. And years later, through a combination of prosthesis and soul magic, we see this character, Hyakimaru, wandering the country with a young orphan named Dororo, hunting those demons who stole his body, and with each one slain, he reclaims a bit of his life and maybe his humanity. Pretty intense stuff. Tell you right now, you're gonna see some sword fights, you're gonna see some blood. This game gets a little bit gory.
Yeah, it does. And it is, oh my God, it's so fluid. The fights are good. The one thing that you need, stop me if you've heard the Sengoku period anime before.
Yeah.
One thing you need to make those things successful are good ass fights.
And they got him.
This anime definitely has it. Mm-hmm. It freaking delivers.
Absolutely. You want to move into the story and setting then?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go in. So we have our the titular character. I don't know. There's like co-main characters.
Sure.
Dororo's kind of a street tough.
Yeah. Little rough and tumble.
Yeah.
Kid.
Dororo's an orphan. It's kind of been by themselves.
Been through some stuff.
Yeah, they've been through some stuff.
First time you see Dororo being accused of being a thief.
Yeah.
In fact, by some bigger dudes.
Actually, Dororo's getting the crap kicked out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, step in Hyakimaru.
Who doesn't really step in, but rather distracts everybody by being weird and just staring off into nothing on a bridge.
Yeah, it's almost like Hyakimaru isn't totally a human.
Whoa. Oh, man.
Like a robot. An automaton.
Some kind of cyborg.
And that is because Hyakimaru is blind, deaf, mute.
Can't smell?
Can't smell. Has no skin.
Mm-hmm.
Has pretty much nothing but muscle and prosthetics covering their body. So
we got some bone, we got some muscles as far as we can tell, and there's not a whole lot else going on in there. No arms, no legs. A combination of magic and prosthesis is what's keeping this dude moving, and it gets pretty intense. In that, we get some pretty awesome scenes. Hyakimaru pulls his arms off, and he's got these two swords, like from the elbow down, and that's what he's using to fight these demons. It's pretty intense. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the story continues. Once Dororo and Hyakimaru kind of become a team, they begin a quest, and essentially the quest involves Hyakimaru defeating demons, because every time he defeats a demon, for the most part, he regains one of his body parts.
Yes, well, slight spoiler, the first thing he kills, his skin grows back, and it's pretty
graphic.
It's pretty gruesome, because you see this like porcelain wooden mask, whatever it is, fall off, and Dororo just sees this muscular underneath as the skin starts to grow back on it. And it's not super easy to watch, so be warned. It's a little gory.
Yeah, and all this is because of the pact made with the demons by his father, Kagemitsu Daigo.
Yes.
Who essentially is a lord of a land. The land is falling apart, and he does the only thing that I guess came to his mind at the time
was to pray to these demons. And it also, you're asking for trouble if you have a shrine called the House of Hell that's full of demon statues.
He goes to the House of Hell.
Holy moly.
And prays to these demons to take from him to give back to the land. All he ends up was with a scar on his head, and then
and a skull baby son.
Yeah, and he does this as his child is being born.
Yes.
And his child is born as essentially a skull. It looks like like a little swaddled version of the Colossal Titan.
Oh yeah, like it just looks like a skull with no eyes with some muscles over it. You see a little bit of blood and stuff. It's again pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
There's also a few implications here that like the child like wasn't fully consumed. We see you see the birth, and again we're not getting too spoiled. This is like episode 1-2 stuff out of 24, so you'll be fine. Where you see the mom giving birth, and this there's like a bolt of lightning that flashes through the room, and a Buddha statue that's in the room, like the head flies off of it.
Yep.
Like it took the hit basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's some pretty intense stuff. We do get a decent amount of this symbolism with the Buddha and whatnot throughout the show, but ultimately you're gonna watch this dude slay a bunch of demons and grow body parts.
Yep.
There's also even bits where, again, we're not getting too spoilery, we see what can happen when they're lost again. There's a demon he fights that he manages to like mess it up, but it like takes his leg that has grown back, and then later he kills a demon and gets that leg back. So this stuff happens.
Yeah,
it's like cyclical with this kid.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the story. Though that's the story anyway. I do have a little bit about the setting. I just wrote here the Warring States period is visceral and violent. There is a lot going on because, again, these are a number of feudal lords, fighting for dominance.
Have
and
you
keeping
seen
their protection.
You've seen a good anime with feudal Japan?
Yes.
This is what we're in.
We're
back, baby.
We're back, baby. I wrote here, when I think samurai, I think noble warriors, Japanese knights who fight for honor. But here, we're going to see them, as you do in a lot of these animes, as basically just hired mercenaries who don't mind pillaging innocents. Yeah, as long as it means they're getting a good payday from their lord. And we travel all over as well, seeing several different diverse locations and characters and whatnot. There's bits where you're in towns. There's one bit where you're like in the mountains and stuff, and there's like hot springs and stuff that I never put it together till later. It's like, oh, that's straight up FalKKone or whatever, where all the hot springs are. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. You get a lot of cool locations.
Yeah, and they do a really good job of making each individual location look diverse and different.
And that's another thing, like story-wise, we get a lot of, most of it is like dealing with Hyakkimaru, getting their stuff back. And like there's backstory with Doro, there's backstory with Hyakkimaru, there's backstory with all these other characters they run into who matter and are important. But then every now and then you'll get these ones that's just like a one-off, like Monster of the Week type thing, which is pretty sweet because you're still getting like some cool demons or some kind of cool, like, you know, evil thing that needs to be dealt with, and it gets dealt with. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and if this all sounds like, if it sounds familiar and you're kind of thinking like, well, I've probably seen an anime like this before, this anime does not come without its twist.
Oh, yeah.
There are twists and turns in this show, and that, in my opinion, is largely what makes the story worth watching.
Yeah, there's a lot of great
stuff. There are some really, really good moments written in there. A lot of things that I think a lot of people won't see coming.
Mm-hmm. And
so it's
dare I say, some very good character development if we want to move into that.
Absolutely.
So do you want to start with Hyakkimaru?
Yeah.
Hyakkimaru's awesome.
Yeah, we got quite a few characters, so we'll just try to touch them briefly.
Yeah.
Hyakkimaru is awesome. He's kind of like, he's like Kenshin from Samurai X awesome. Like where he will blade a fool up, but you know, he's not wielding, well, in Kenshin he has a reverse blade, but his arms are just straight up blades. He just hacking away at demons and at sometimes humans.
Yes.
Though that is a point of that the show definitely makes, that is important, that the taking of human life has consequences.
Yes, absolutely. That's one big thing. There's a character who says early on, we see Hyakkimaru fight and regain some body parts, you know, and keep in mind, you're literally going to watch this person grow, even though they're like a young adult or whatever. You're going to watch them get their hearing back, get their voice back, and still not talk, and still cover their ears because it's so painful and so weird and so different living so long without these things, and slowly coming out of this shell, out of this cave, if you will. As one character points out, this character has basically been living their life in a cave, blind, deaf, with nothing. And as they're killing these demons and occasionally these humans, the question becomes, what's coming out of that cave? Is it a man? Is it a beast? Is it a demon itself? So it ends up being a very interesting look at like humanity through this character who is just all they know is pure vengeance and wanting their life back. It's really intense, man.
Yeah, it's really
good
cool
stuff.
I think it's also worth noting, if you're curious, how Dororo sees and how he is able to attack enemies. Hyakkimaru. Hyakkimaru is able to
basically
see aura.
Yeah, like soul energy.
Knows
and
the
stuff.
aura around him.
So he'll see like a red splotch and know that, okay, that's a demon. He'll see like a gray splotch and know that's a person. He'll see a green splotch and know that's something good, be it a leaf or a friend, or even I think there's a bit with a Buddha statue that glows green. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. You want to talk about Dororo a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about Dororo. So Dororo is
the mouthpiece.
yeah, pretty much. Dororo is Hyakkimaru's mouthpiece, and kind of guide. Just guides through his. Dororo maintains being really helpful to Hyakkimaru, and Dororo is the child of essentially some bandits.
Yes, you get a lot of backstory.
Yeah, some bandits that are put together to oppose samurai coming in and pillaging villages and stuff like that. That they stand very strongly against that. And once Dororo, I won't spoil, you know, obviously Dororo's an orphan at this point. You learn that very early into the show.
You learn a lot about that family eventually.
Yep. Once Dororo is orphaned, essentially they wander until Hyakkimaru comes up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just put there's a lot, like, Dororo kind of plays off as the comedy relief at times. There's bits where, like, they got the little spiky teeth. You love those. And, like, they're always, like, you know, pulling jokes and whatnot and talking.
Dororo is very mischievous, too.
Yes, very much so. But, like, with that
got
backstory...
a mind on the money, too.
Yeah, absolutely. But with the backstory and everything, you get this tenderness and this, you know, this is a child.
Yep.
And you can forget that very easily with it being such a, you know, cartoon and so, you know, at times very violent, but at times, like, really, oh, it's so cool, like slashing swords and stuff. But you forget this is a kid who's dealing with this stuff.
Yep.
And you get reminded of that a lot through these backstories. It's really intense stuff. I do love that Dororo always refers to Hyakimaru as Aniki, which is like kind of like saying it's translated as bro in the subtitles, which looking it up, it's like not necessarily brother or, you know, pal or friend or whatever. It's kind of like a thing that, like, Yakuza would say to, like, their upper guy, the guy who's, like, above them, like, that's my big bro, blah blah blah. Like, it's kind of a goofy. I love that little detail that Dororo always says Aniki when talking about Hyakimaru.
Yeah,
it's really cute.
There's some really great moments between the two.
Yeah,
especially as Hyakimaru starts recovering more and more of his ability
his senses,
to sense, and really learns to appreciate and form a strong bond with Dororo. It's very good stuff. Let's hit the three big Daigos.
Go for it.
The Daigo family, essentially. So we got Kagemitsu, who we already talked about, is the lord of the land. They just call it Daigo Land, right? Yeah.
It's just named for him.
I think the original for it is the Kaga province.
Okay.
And essentially, he's pretty cutthroat. He'll do anything it takes to protect the people of his land, to bring prosperity to his land, and, you know, at any cost, as you see in the very beginning, where he sacrifices either himself or his son up to the land.
And has no regrets about that.
Nope.
Literally nothing. Like, well, deal was made. Cool. Later.
Yep.
Time to be cool.
And then they also have a son who is Taomaru Daigo.
This kid's a little badass.
Yeah, he's a little badass. He seems, the show presents him very, like, he's kind and forward. He's of his father, in which he wants to protect the land and his people. He knows that it's his duty to do. And I think that he does it pretty well. He has his right and left hand, who are really great characters as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll let you guys get into them for yourselves, but they're like it's a good trio. Yeah. They wander and they just try to protect people, but of course, in
doing so, they end up directly opposing Hyakimaru, who is trying to destroy these demons to get his body back. And of course, as that happens, there's less demons to, you know, protect this land, as was the deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets pretty rough.
Yeah. So yeah, it does get pretty rough. And then once Taomaru starts running into Dororo, things start heating up from that point too. Because you learn that Dororo doing certain thing. Yeah, sorry, I keep saying Dororo.
This is the name of the show. That's an easy mistake to make.
I got the goo too, so my mind is kind of.
The goo.
It's been flayed all day.
It's in his brain. The goo's in his brain.
Hyakimaru and Taomaru, the more they interact and Hyakimaru goes for one goal, it presents a bit of a problem for Taomaru.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his goals, which is a major arcing part in the story. And it really leads into the end game of everything.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's very good stuff. I do not have the name of their mother. Do you by chance?
I don't have it on me now.
Yes, Mother Daigo.
Yeah, she ends up being like a really interesting part. There's a bit like right in the middle, right when we go to like episode 12 to 13, there's some really intense like showdown stuff. It kind of sets up what the second season's going to end up being. And boy, oh boy, she plays her part there. But the thing with her is she was ready to keep that skull baby. Yeah. That's her child. This is my baby. And Lord Daigo's like, get this skull baby out of here.
Yeah. Get this skull baby
get this little
out of my domain.
This little goo monster out of my house. And she feels no end to the regret, nothing but pain over what has befallen her child, who she still sees as her child, and why wouldn't she? She's praying constantly to this broken Buddha statue. We actually see some scenes early on where Taomaru, the brother, is trying to like talk to her, go see her, but she's just so preoccupied with her pain and her mourning over this child that she couldn't keep. It ends up being like very, very sad, obviously. But yeah, there's more there, but we don't want to get into it too much. Yeah, for spoiler's sake. But you want to talk about any other character? There's the old priest.
Yeah, the priest is the last one that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
and just for reference, the mother's name is Nui.
There we go.
Nui no Kata.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I had to look that up. I didn't want to leave that out. I know it's Mother Daigo was probably good enough for everybody.
Wow, this
not
guy.
For me, sir.
This
not
guy.
For me. Let's talk about Biwamaru briefly.
Old blind guy, carries like one of those big.
Yeah, he's your traveling monk.
He's a traveling monk. He's old. He's bald. He's blind. He's got that big guitar thing on his back that you pull the neck off and turns out it's a sword. Oh,
Yep.
what a badass! He's so cool.
He kind of acts as like a guardian or a beacon for Dororo and Hakimaru.
Even giving sage advice at times.
Yes,
he is the one who has the whole like soliloquy about, is this a man or a monster that's going to come out of this cave with Hakimaru? It's intense stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah. But essentially he's a great character. He really kind of provides that extra bit of information you do need from time to time. And he's like not overbearing. You don't see him all the time, but he's there enough to where he is important. And I feel like his placement in the show and the writing for him was really top-notch stuff. Oh,
and we should probably mention real quick, I don't have the name on me, but the doctor who finds... Jukai is the one who is a doctor who has an incredibly moving backstory that I'm just going to let y'all watch. I think it's like episode 2 or 3 where you get this full backstory. It's good. It's also very sad, but Jukai is the one who finds Hakimaru as a little skull baby and manages to provide help raise him. Like basically that's his kid for the most part,
builds
and builds those prosthetics and everything. Really great character, really cool development with all these characters. I know that it has 24 episodes, but even then, I'm still surprised, like the depth that some of these characters got.
Yeah,
it's very well done.
They really managed to squeeze a whole lot into the show.
Yeah. I would really be saying that if it was 12, but at 24, it's still impressive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters and a lot to talk about, and they do it, man. It's good stuff.
They do it very well.
Do you want to move on to that music and soundtrack?
Let's go to the art and animation first, sir.
Excuse me, art and animation.
You got
totally
the goo, my dude?
I got the goo,
That's
too.
me with
Whoops.
the goo.
It's intense. It's fluid. Looks great.
Yep, it looks really good. It is worth noting, I think, that it's maybe not the best animation that I've ever seen.
No, probably not.
And it definitely has its own style. And I think overall, though, it is very strong. It is very strong. There is one episode, and we won't talk about it much, but they do have a change in style. I will say that I liked it. Brandon did not like it.
I have a question.
What's that, dude?
And this may be difficult for you to answer without like just thinking about it, but do you think if I hadn't told you, hey, there's this episode where the art style gets different and people
do you think that I wouldn't have noticed?
Not that you wouldn't have noticed. Do you think you would have like immediately like liked it as much as you did? Because you were cool with
probably.
It. Okay.
It's weird. It's right up my alley, dude.
Yeah. So
it is very weird. It's very
thing with this
weird.
episode, I'll give you the quick background. It was directed and handled by Osamu Kobayashi, who is known primarily for being the guy who, the most part, if you Google that name, you're going to find a lot of message boards where people are talking about how this guy did like an episode of a show and they hated it because the art style is so different from the rest of it and it was weird and chunky and blah blah. Likes the blobby style, like when people are far away and they got the little dot eyes. I love that.
Yeah. Also, like a very sketchy,
very sketchy.
It's unpolished.
It feels like very low frame rate for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And there are times when, with that one in particular, there was just the scenes where like there was like the low frame rate thing going on that like really bummed me out. Now that said, I did rewatch it. I like the blobby style. I do like the ending sequence where he's out on the Hyakimaru's out on the boat. That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
that one they nailed.
There's very sketchy scenes. It's all over the place.
Yeah,
it is all over the place. And
but like
think sort of like if you've ever seen Tech on Concrete, kind of super sketchy like that style, or maybe like the Animatrix movies or something. A little more weirder offshoots of that one.
Yeah. It's not unwatchable. I will say that if you're not ready for it, it can bum you out.
It definitely comes right out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually a second part. The first part is not like that, and the second part is.
Yeah. And that's another thing that, so this person, I'll say this, and anybody who's seen Gurren Lagann might know what I'm talking about. Episode 4 of Gurren Lagann, this person took over, and that's the one where a lot of folks were like, what the hell happened to this show? And then it was, bloop, right back to the old art style in episode 5, and everybody was cool.
Yep. I'm assuming that there is a large cult following for him in Japan.
It must be.
At least
reminds me of
some respect among like other artists and art directors.
You know what it reminds me of is like old school Speed Racer, where it's kind of like jerky, like literally 2-3
It is very
frames
jerky. Like it draws the eye. Like you definitely notice it.
It's for sure different. Like there's no way you're gonna watch this show and be like, that was a regular episode. No, you're gonna be like, whoa.
But so there is that change of pace. Some will like it, some won't like it.
Yeah, but beyond that, the overall the show is very fluid. The fight scenes are very intense.
Yep.
There's a bit in particular with well, I'm not gonna say what's happening, but there's a sword fight and it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really good stuff. Overall, it's very well done.
Let's go on to the soundtrack now.
I say quite good.
Yeah, I like
the first opening is fire, quite literally.
Yeah. Light it up, baby.
Some Japanese.
I actually like every opening and every closing in the show.
There's
4 of them. There's
the
2
second
openings, 2 closings.
The second opening grew on me. I was not into it at first, but rewatching it, it felt like that 90s garage rock feel. It's kind of a little bit grungy.
I think the band is. I think that's Kung Fu Generation.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, they do. They've done lots of bands. They're a bigger Japanese band.
I will take your word for it, sir. The endings are both quite good.
God, I love the second one, dude.
Yeah, they're very subdued, very chill. But yeah, they got a lot of cool animations, a lot of cool stuff happening.
The second one, dude, that song is so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of very pretty songs in here.
But yeah, it's all the openings. They're all quite pleasing to look at, and they're quite pleasing to listen to. They're very good. They did not screw up on this field at all. And in the anime, I thought the interstitial music was great as well.
Oh yeah, totally.
I thought there was a lot of great sound design in this anime.
For sure, man. I put here that it feels appropriate for the era. Now, listen, I don't know jack diddly about freaking Japanese musical history. I don't know if what is that thing called? A sanshin, the wood guitar thing was like.
It's a lute.
That thing existed at the time. I'm assuming it did, but you hear some cool music featuring that ding 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 kind of noise, and it's great. It sounds really good and it feels right. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and then as far as like the fights and stuff, like you hear a body plop, it's gonna plop.
Oh yeah.
You hear that sword play going on.
You're gonna hear them shings and clings.
They clanging and banging, baby.
They clanging and banging. You're gonna hear that blood spray. You're gonna hear it hit the ground.
It's really good.
You're gonna hear them splats.
Really good. I have
some of the demon noises are really intense too, like the screams.
Yeah, they're yowls
roars.
and shit like that. Yeah,
it's rad.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, overall. Very solid soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Sound design. All right, dude, let's go into the Je ne sais quoi if you're ready for that.
I would only say that, like, I've said before, and we were talking about this in Rambles early before we actually talked about the show itself, but, like, I would be interested to know, I'm not saying, like, one way or the other with the whole, like, this guy's, like, you know, prosthetics and all that stuff, how that even works. A lot of magic, so whatever. I would be interested to know how someone who like actually, you know, has prosthetics or has some kind of physical difference would feel about any of it. But I don't, so I can't really talk on that. Overall, I would say the show is enjoyable. As long as you know there's going to be blood and you're cool with that, then you're going to have a good time. As far as action anime goes, it's very, very good. Solid like series of dark tales in there to like give you something to think about while you're watching all these sword fights in action. I will say just one last time, it is again quite gory. It is not the goriest show I've ever seen, but there's enough that you're gonna be like, ugh, if you're not into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So there are scenes where people straight up get their face sliced off.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Straight up face off, baby. Like the Travolta and Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
Face/off.
Yeah, face/off. But I think I have more of the same on the je ne sais quoi. Like, it is very, very graphic. I don't think I could recommend this to anybody under a certain age. I don't know what that age would be, 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is very graphic. It is gritty. There is there's some sexual material in there
There's
as
a little
well.
bit.
Not a whole lot. It's not anything that's gonna like terribly upset anybody. I don't think. I think it's important story stuff. It leads to a big heartbreaking moment. But it's overall, like, the show, while it does have very mature themes through it, like, if you're mature, if you can handle this, the show is for you. If you are not a fan of just straight up action and samurai, dicing each other and demons up to pieces,
Yeah.
you might not. If slice of life is your thing and that's only your thing,
Lord knows it's mine.
yeah, you're probably not gonna enjoy this as much as we did.
Yeah, probably not.
Or it might not be my first recommendation to somebody like that, somebody that likes a romantic comedy and kind of sticks to that. I wouldn't be like outright be like, hey, you know what you should watch is Dororo.
I've never watched anything except Azumanga Daioh and Nichijou. Oh, you should check out Dororo, bro.
Check out
You're gonna
Dororo.
love it, bro. No, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah,
That's probably not your bag, baby.
that's kind of where I go with my je ne sais quoi. It's
Yeah.
mature.
You gotta be ready
I couldn't
for
recommend it to literally everybody, but I
Yeah.
could recommend it to a lot of people.
Yeah, as long as as long as you know there's gonna be some blood and gore and you're cool with that, you're gonna have a good time. So you want to get into the scores, big boy?
Let's do it.
All right. How'd you feel about the story and setting?
I gave it 2 points.
I gave it 1.5.
Okay.
How about that characters and development?
I gave it 2 points.
I gave it 2 points. How about the art and animation?
Art and animation, I gave it 1.5.
And 1.5. Music and sound.
I gave it 2 points.
I gave it 1.5. Pretty good.
Okay.
And the je ne sais quoi?
I gave it 1.5.
I gave it 1.5 as well.
Okay.
So what's that put you at, big boy?
That puts me at 9. I'm sitting at an animazing right.
Nice,
A
dude.
low animazing.
I got
this show's worth watching.
I got an 8. That's a high end, most definitely.
Nice.
I think like right at the cusp for an animazing. It's quite good. Quite good.
Yeah, this show, it is almost without flaws. Like, it's very, very, very good. And there are a couple of things that I think could set people off a little bit,
Sure.
but overall, it's worth watching. Like, this show, they took an older anime and manga, and they
And
really
video game.
they really spun it into something like I think it kept close to the material, and
There are a few things in there that are like this series specific.
Yeah.
I've read.
Yeah, I know the anime has a dog that's not in this, the original anime. Also, one of the reveals happens in the last episode, where this one happens somewhat early on.
Yeah. But I mean, all in all, it's
Yeah.
just a great show.
It's just great. It's so worth watching. But let me lead that into our next little thing about what we're reviewing next week. Stuff that you should be watching.
Oh yeah.
From the summer 2019 anime season, baby, it is upon us.
There is
It
a
is
lot.
here.
There is a lot of stuff out right now.
Yeah,
and
we're
gonna
hitting
take
the-
a few of our favorites to tell you about them.
We're hitting the 3rd episodes, 4th episodes, maybe.
Yeah, we're right
some
on
shows.
some of them are going to be on 4. Several of
2
them.
to 4.
Some of them are going to be on 3. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be talking about those, telling you what we think you should check out, and hey, maybe you'll check them out.
And like, we usually do a couple episodes with it. So one episode might not have a ramble, but I mean, we're gonna go through literally every summer anime that we think is worth watching for you.
Yeah, man.
And when we
then
do hit that ramble,
we're gonna have some dishonorable.
Yeah, when that
dismentions.
happens, we'll tell you some stuff that's maybe not worth watching.
Maybe you'd avoid this one like the freaking plague.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But let's go ahead and hit the quick plugs and then get on to the ramble,
Yep.
right? So if you're watching this on YouTube, everything's going to be in the description. Hit it up, check it out. If you're listening to the podcast, we're going to go straight into the ramble and get the full plugs at the end, as you will on the ramble YouTube video. But we of course want to give a shout out to our good buddy Haas for the music you're about to hear on the YouTube review portion. That is The Buddy's Good from our good buddy Haas. He is Thomas Tastes Better on Instagram. That's Thomas Tastes Better. That's all one word, right? There's no hyphens or nothing. Thomas Tastes Better on Instagram. Check it out, whip it out, do the thing. And beyond that, of course, smash that like button, hit subscribe, leave us a comment, ask us some questions.
We're growing, baby.
We love asking questions.
We're almost at 1,130 subs on the channel, baby.
Hot diggity daffodil.
Hot damn. I put in a cough drop in my mouth whenever you're reading all that off. So I heard some rapper in the background. I'm sorry.
I heard some clinking and clacking on your teeth.
Some clanging and banging on these old toothies.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Got to get the Quip. Sponsored by Quip.
We are not sponsored by Quip. Oh, no. Got to get that Blue Chew, bro.
Yeah, man. Dollar Shave Club, baby.
Keep that dick hard.
You got to get that dick hard.
But yeah, we're gonna bust on into the ramble again. Like and subscribe, 5 stars. Leave us a comment wherever you're at, be it on the Facebook or any of that. All those links are there. Wherever you're listening and watching this, hit us up and tell us about it. We will talk to y'all later. We're gonna go into the ramble, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a ton, good buddies. We'll catch you next time.
Love you.